Welcome to Conversations with My Real Friends. I'm Jennifer. I'm here with my friend Robert Feldman. Robert is an insurance agent here in California, and today we're going to be talking about California's backstop of our insurance called California Fair Plan. So what's California Fair Plan?
Okay, the California Fair Plan was originally built in the 60s, believe it or not, due to the riots.
Oh, wow.
Okay, the Watts riots, if you really do the research on this. Yeah. What it was designed for is really a policy of last resort. It's a fire policy with a few other small coverages, riot being one of them. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that it's part of.
Yeah.
So Cal Fair Plan has limitations to it, but it really is a policy of last resort.
Right.
It's supposed to be, if you read their website, it's the craziest website. It will tell you, please exhaust any and all other options and opportunities before taking this program.
Right.
And really what it does is it's really to make it work for mortgages and things of that nature.
Right.
It is because in the mortgage world, you're required to have insurance for fire.
Right.
What's scary is, doesn't matter if there's liability, doesn't matter if there's water damage or pipe breaks or things of that nature. For a loan, the California Fair Plan will solve that potential problem as long as it fits that problem. So what has come into really be a really serious problem, and there was a bill that was passed, AB 2756. And I'm sorry to say most of my brothers and sisters of the world of insurance don't understand what happened with that bill. It was a major change. It's happened about 2 years ago. The bill requires that the consumer to be insured to value within 80% at the time of loss. Now, as we both know, home prices have skyrocketed. It's taken off. And homes aren't $200 to rebuild any longer. So the California Fair Plan has a maximum coverage of $3 million. So think of it for everyone out there as a bucket of money. It's $3 million. Whether it's your structure, whether it is your contents, additional living expense, all the coverages you're used to seeing. Why I say that is that there's a lot of bad information out there with what's called a DIC or wraparound. Consumers believe that that also extends coverage to fire. That does not happen. So there's a lot of bad information out there. And when I mentioned the bill AB 2756, that 80% rule is really scary. There's an estimate that over 90% of consumers right now on the California Fair Plan are in violation of this clause. Why that's dangerous is if in the event that happens, an example, you have a house and a rebuild, I'm not saying big or small, but it's $1 million. I like round numbers. If that consumer is insured for less than $800,000 because they wrote the policy 5 years ago and it wasn't updated, or for whatever reason, rebuild costs have skyrocketed. If they're less than $800,000, the consumer believes they're going to still receive that check for that $800,000 or $700,000. They don't. What happens is the policy reverts to what's called actual cash value. And for those of you out there that don't know what that means, that is actually depreciation on a 25-year scale. So let's think about that for a second. How many of you out there already have a home that's older than 1999? That's on the California Fair Plan. There are a lot of consumers that are going to receive little or no money.
A lot less than their actual losses.
It can depreciate all the way out. And so it's a really scary part of the California Fair Plan. I use the analogy all the time. I see larger homes that are 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 square feet that are doing just the California Fair Plan, thinking that they at least have $3 million in coverage. Without excess policies, they don't have. It's a difference between excess and what's called the DIC or wrap. It's a big difference. These are all markets that we continue to bring into market, and we're constantly working on effects.
So the bottom line is there is a system to try and mitigate when a traditional policy can't be found, but you better be working with the right person on getting that done to get you some protection in the event you have to use it.
Absolutely.
So if someone has questions, wants to ask you more.
Please, this is the one that I would jokingly say is really I'd almost make an argument, a crusade moment of what I do. I really got to get information out to consumers on this. My email is robert@wildsinsurance.com. I do reviews all the time. We appoint brokers across California that are writing our excess programs. It's really important that if you're out there really listening to this and you're on the California Fair Plan, you cannot have your head in the sand. This is a definite moment that you have to make sure you review your policies and review them annually, whether your broker does it or not, to make sure you're insured to value.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this episode. We'll see you soon.